I want to go back to Harvey Wasserman. The news out of Switzerland, they've suspended the approvals process for 3 nuclear power stations so safety standards can be revisited after the crisis in Japan. The German government facing pressure to reverse its plan to extend the life of Germany's 17 nuclear reactors as domestic opponents of atomic power took Japan's worsening nuclear crisis as validation of their views. Talk about the reaction now around the world, these protests that are taking place.
Well, the protests are huge, Amy, and specifically here in the United States, we're facing 2 very tangible issues in the near term. The owners of the nuclear plants all across the United States, including these very old reactors, some of which are virtually identical to Fukushima 1, are going in for license extensions. And so you have reactors that are 40 or approaching 40 years old, more than 30 years old, and the owners are asking the Nuclear Regulatory Commission and getting approval to extend their life. I hope that the NRC and that the public in general will take note that these reactors now cannot withstand these kinds of pressures and should absolutely not have their license extended. Secondly, we're facing in the Congress pressure from the Obama administration and from supporters of the nuclear industry to give them $36 billion in loan guarantees to build still more nuclear plants. This is something that really has to be stopped, because we've seen in Japan, and both Kevin and I have been there, and we've seen the kinds of things that the industry has said, the kind of safety that they claim that they can deliver, that these are false promises. And I tell you that the Japanese industry assured the Japanese public that Fukushima and there are 55 reactors in Japan, all of which are on earthquake faults and near the ocean. The Japanese industry assured the Japanese public that these reactors could withstand exactly these kinds of events. This is not a surprise, what's happened at Fukushima. This was predicted. We've predicted similar things here in the United States, especially at those reactors in California. They are going for license extension at Diablo Canyon. This is unconscionable, especially in light of what's happened here. So these are tangible things that are happening. These demonstrations around the world will certainly escalate, because we've seen now that the nuclear industry cannot be trusted, and this technology simply does not belong on this planet.
Harvey
I want to
Wasserman,
add one other thing, by the way. None of the reactors in the United States are insured. None of the reactors in the United States are insured beyond $12.4 billion. If such an accident happened here, the burden, the economic burden will fall directly on the taxpayers and on the victims, not on the owners of the plants.
Harvey Wasserman, editor of Nuke.org.